It was there in the morning, but since morning it was non-stop work.
Yeah, I was wondering, Mataji will take class. So I thought, okay, let me check. So I saw the message.
and
And
I
somehow before I used to think that 6:30 is your class and 7 o'clock is my yoga class. So it used to clash. But then
okay.
you told last time that it is 6 o'clock. So I thought I can join.
So you have to go physically to do the yoga
Yeah,
class?
I have to go physically. So 6:40, around 6:40, 45, I start.
Maybe we'll just, yeah, we maybe just have a short class. We will do a recap of 7 or something like that. We'll do, yeah. If needed, we can repeat 21 again next time for the others who are coming. You could definitely do that. So, okay, so I think we are broadcasting on Facebook. Let me double check it real quickly. Uh, Testing. Yes, we are. Okay, let's get started then. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for joining us here on Zoom, my single student, Devi Kumari Mataji, and of course, those who are on Facebook and YouTube. Um, I also learned that Facebook has come up with a new policy that it won't retain the videos on Facebook for more than 30 days. So, but I broadcast on YouTube also, so they'll stay there. Like that. Okay, so my apologies first for those who joined me on Zoom that I was so engrossed in my other work that I completely forgot to post that there'll be a class today. So anyway, we'll just resort to the recording here. So we'll get started after we do a brief prayer to the special master. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे और प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. So it's nice to be back here again with all of you. I certainly missed all of you, and when I was away in India for my Yatra, and I prayed for all of you at every place that I went to the Dham. So I am happy and glad to be back here again. So I'm pretty sure you all want to know what I did in India. So I'll spend a little bit of time giving a recap of what I was doing when in India. So there are two places that I went while I was in India. And Hare Krishna Rupal Mataji, thanks for joining. And joining the call here today. So like I said, I went to two places. One was Jagannath Puri and the other one was Govardhan. We did go to one day we did go to Vrindavan. So I do go there a couple of days earlier in order to kind of, overcome jet lag and also to make preparations for the yatra. So the yatra actually started on 3rd of February. We just have an evening session there where we there's a little Krishna Katha. Since I'm also one of the organizers of the Yatra, I don't get a chance to sit in all the calls and listen to all the wonderful lectures that go on, usually outside. catering to the organization aspects of it. But they are all recorded and they are posted on the Facebook fanthespark.com for those who want to listen to it. And as I was saying earlier, that Facebook now has a policy of retaining the videos only for 30 days on Facebook. So they'll be gone. So the first day, February 3rd, is a lighter day because people come from all parts of the world to visit. We were bang in the middle of Jagannath Puri. And so we always make it a point to go to a temple called Tota Gopinath. And so Tota means the garden, and Gopinath is our Gopinath, Krishna. So Tota Gopinath is garden of Krishna. That area is Tota Gopinath. And the temple there is famous because Gadadhar, who was one of the five in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, Gadadhar used to worship Krishna or worship Gopinath in that temple. And so Gopinath was getting old and was of old age and of old body and was finding it difficult to worship the deity because the deity was tall and, to raise the hands and take care of the dressing and all that. So one day Gadadhar just kind of complained. And that's a beautiful relationship that when you get so intimate with Krishna, that in the beginning there is, when we start devotional service, at least some of us, we start with awe and reverence. When we come to know about the six opulences of Krishna, then we think that oh, he's so powerful, oh, he has made everything, and oh, he can kill me, because we'll see his pastimes where he's killing demons, like he can kill me, so I better be on the right path. So it starts with awe and reverence, but Krishna actually doesn't like awe and reverence, and he says that in other places in the scriptures that, better to me than all these shlokas and offerings made from the Vedas with awe and reverence. Better than that, I like the scolding of the gopis, or the scoldings of his, or the familiarity of his Bal Gopalas, or childhood friends, like that. He says that. And so anyway, so as the relationship grows more intimate with Krishna, the devotee also, the mood and the interactions with Krishna also change. So devotee feels he's entitled to complain. And so Gadadhar complained to Krishna saying that it's getting difficult for me to worship you because I'm old now. And then he did that, he went to sleep. And the next day when Gadadhar Pandit came and removed the curtains, the deity had sat down. So that is the power of the deity, power of loving devotional service to Krishna, that Krishna comes under the control of the devotee. And for those of us who think that the deity is stone, made of stone, and is stone, this is an eye opener. The deity is not made of stone. The deity is God, and God manifests in the form of a deity so that we have something to focus our mind when we're doing the prayers to him. So we do go to Tota Gopinath there. We had a nice katha there. And then we also, nearby is Bhaktidan Saraswati Thakur's Bhajan Kutir. And it was from this Bhajan Kutir that he wrote his letter to Srila Prabhupada, the last letter to Srila Prabhupada, where he was telling him that he should continue to preach and print books. So we did go there. And there's a temple nearby, Neel Madhav, if I remember the name correctly. So we went there and visited there also. We had a little katha there and some singing of bhajans. It was very nice. So there was Vaisheshika Prabhu leading most of the sessions. And then we also had Vishnu Gada Prabhu who has come, who had joined us from Delaware. So he would also participate. We have our local Orissa, devotee, also Madhavananda Prabhu and his wife Krishna Kund, who have been there for many decades now and who do very deep studies of the literature. They also publish some literature on a monthly basis. It's a very nice newsletter. They go very deep there. So we were lucky to have him also some days. So typically a day of a yatra started with doing a japa. Started actually with doing Tulsi Puja at 5:55 in the morning. And then we would follow that by a japa circle where people would sit down and do japa. Then we would do Guru Puja of Srila Prabhupada. And that after that, we would have Srimad Bhagavatam class. And that would bring us till about 8:30 in the morning. And then we would go and have breakfast. Breakfast would usually take, after breakfast, winding everybody up, putting them into buses and all that would make it like 9:30, quarter to 10 in the morning. And then we would go to a place to visit. And of course, we had plenty of books with us. And so on the way, we would distribute the books as well, do kirtan and distribute books like that. We distributed quite a big number of books, 7,000, something like that is a big number. We distributed, and so then we would go and do what we call as parikrama, like visit these places in the dham and get back. And one of the things that we do in these yatras is that we go to the same place again and again. And some of us who want to be more interested in the breadth of the yatra, Peshika Babu, who kind of facilitates this yatra, he says that rather than a breath and just going and quickly visiting all the temples and just touch and go affair there, it's better to go to the same place again, sit and listen to the Krishna Katha there, so that you develop a relationship with that place. And that's the most important thing about going to the dham, is that you develop a relationship with these places. And you will also notice that in our dham yatras, we always try to also stay very much connected with our parampara. So it's not that we just go and hit Krishna straight and say, okay, I'm going to go to this temple, that temple, that temple, the 5,000 temples in Vrindavan, and I'll just go and attend, go and visit all of them, like 50 this time, 50 next, and 10 years I'll have 5,000, something like that. So that's not the thing. The main thing is that we should be trying to get, intimate with a place, and then if you like a particular form of Krishna, then we go to that form through the parampara. So the visits to these places will also lay emphasis on the samadhis that are there of our various acharyas in our lineage. So we always do that. That's why you see that we went to Tota Gopinath temple, which is of course the pastimes of related with the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Plus we also went and visited the Bhajan Kutir of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because he's in a lineage, right? He's the special master of Srila Prabhupada. So like that. And then we would come back after the parikrama. It would take us make it about 2:30, 2 or 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon by the time we'd come back. And then rest for a little while and have lunch and then rest for some time and then class again, sometimes 5 o'clock, sometimes 5:30, depending on how late we came back from the parikrama. So the class itself will happen till, like 7 o'clock, sometimes 7:30. People would participate. They would share the reflections. We had a very lively group of youngsters that we have, like kids who are too young to go to the youth yatra and have to stay with their parents. So they were accompanying their parents here, and they were very participative. And some of the reflections that they gave during the classes were just amazing, just amazing reflections. So by the time it will be like 7:30, then we would have light dinner, and then people would go to relax, and then some of them would make multiple trips to Jagannath temple. That's the prime attraction. Of course, you know that white bodies are not allowed or foreigners are not allowed in the Jagannath temple, although there's a court ruling.
बन एक मिनट फोन लाना, इसमें पता देख सकते हैं कौन कौन है. पापा का फोन ला.
So we used to
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I was unable to join today. I don't know why.
No problem. Now you're in. We're happy.
Welcome back, and thank you for the class.
We
were really missing it. At least I was missing it.
I missed you all too. Yeah, I was telling you that I was thinking of all of you in the dham and of my classes with all of you, and the good time we spent. And I did pray for you all in the dham.
Thank you so much. Where all did you go?
Yes, I'm just recounting. Yeah, I'm just recounting and telling everybody of my experiences in the dham. What are the places we went to? Two major places that we went were Puri and Jagannath Puri and Govardhan and Vrindavan.
Oh, so, how nice. How nice.
Yes. I would say that everybody should make some time and come be at the dham. It's a totally different experience. It's a totally different realm. And as they say that the dham in India, Govardhan, like Vrindavan that we say, they are not different from the spiritual planets that we have. The spiritual planets manifest, and we just need to have the eyes to see that this is really the dham. Like that. That's what our acharyas say. So I was just recounting and I'm telling that, where all we went. The first day in Puri, we went to Tota Gopinath and I visited Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Bhajan Kutir.
Okay.
And then, and the next day we went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's home and to Gambhira. Actually, we first went to Gambhira and then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's place in that order. So Gambhira was a place where it's a temple there as well, and it's renowned for the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Leela used to spend time in intense separation. And there is a room that is shown there. Earlier we were allowed inside the room, but not any longer. Where they would lock up Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and put it inside it, because in his spiritual ecstasies he would wander out and hurt himself. And but even after they locked him in that room, he would somehow magically come out of that room and be found in various places. And once he even fell into the ocean in his ecstasies, and a fisherman who was out there, when he cast his net, he caught Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was like more than 6 feet tall. And so he thought it was a really big fish that he had caught, but what he had caught was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his spiritual ecstasy. So Gambhira is there. We went to Gambhira. We had those very hot day, I remember. And we had nice Krishna Katha at Govardhan, at Gambhira. And then from Gambhira, at a little short walking distance is the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was actually a priest at Jagannath temple. And he used to be a Mayavadi, actually. And he had a very vast following. He had 60,000 disciples. And he was very learned in his Shastras also. He was very good at Sanskrit and very good at composing Sanskrit verses also. So when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was in his journey in the south, towards the south of India, when he met him, he actually talked to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and gave him, and he was reciting verses, and he gave him a lot of gyan, and he spoke for 7 days nonstop. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the combined incarnation of Radha and Krishna. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was telling him all that. And at the end of the 7th day, he said that you haven't asked me a single question, because when you're having a class, you're supposed to ask questions. So you haven't asked me a single question. So what's the reason for that? And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke, he pointed out certain mistakes in what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was speaking. And then from there, it went on to some more compositions and some more gyan that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. So much so that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya surrendered and wrote a very beautiful poem, Ujjvala Varana, Gaura Varadeham. It's a very beautiful Sanskrit bhajan that we also sing at the temple here. So he wrote that, and then of course he became
Is it Guru Vandana?
No, Guru Vanda is for the Guru, right?
Okay.
And this is, he's glorifying, Ujjvala Varana, Gaura Varadeham, Tam Paramami Chasi Sachinandan. It's a very beautiful song. I can share the lyrics of that on the chat later after the class.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, we always sing that when we go there. And then so he and all his disciples became, and then he, of course, he became a part of his entourage and was assisting. In fact, after his mood changed, his mood changed, and he was into reading Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a book that glorifies Lord Sri Krishna. He even went and suggested a little change to one of the verses there, which was our famous verse, Tatyanukampam Susamishamano Bhanjanam Evatma Kritam Vipakam Hidvag Vapabir Vidadan Namaste Jiveta So Mukti Pade Sadaya Bhag. So those who are Mayavadis, they're always focused on getting mukti, which is liberation from this material world. Whereas we devotees, we don't even care about mukti because we just say that our mood is more along the lines of Vasudeve Parabhakti, not this one. What is that verse? Swarg apavarga narkeshu apitulyartha darshana. Narayana parasarve na kutaschina bhivyati swarg apavarga narkeshu apitulyartha darsana. So it says that one who is a surrendered soul to Narayan, which basically means he's a devotee of the Narayan. So then for him, he's not scared of anything, because for that person, Swarg and Narak, hell and heaven are one and the same thing, because all that the devotee wants is that wherever I am, whether I'm in hell or whether I'm in heaven, hellish and heavenly conditions have got to do with the body. But a bhakta is beyond the concept of a body, and all that the bhakta wants to do is to do devotional service to the Lord. So a bhakta is in that mood that I don't even want liberation, because liberation basically means you get out of this bodily concept, you realize that you're a soul, and then you go and hang in the effulgence that comes out of Krishna, the Brahma Jyoti as we call it, or Brahma Loka. So they just hang there and do nothing. They don't do any devotional service to the Lord. So a bhakta actually doesn't like that. So this verse, which was spoken by Brahma to Krishna after the Brahma Vimohan Leela. So he says that, when anything wrong happens to a devotee, he just says that it is your mercy, Tate Anukampa. It's your mercy that I actually deserve to get worse, and you have reduced my sentence, and that's why, I'm suffering what I'm suffering right now. And then he uses Hidvak Vapubhi. So he uses his body, his mind, his heart, and his words to glorify the Lord. So Brahma says to Krishna that when a devotee does something like that, then that devotee becomes eligible for liberation. So mukti sa pade daya bhag. Daya bhag means eligible. Mukti. Mukti pada means to achieve the level of mukti. He becomes eligible for that. And so Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was a Mayavadi, so Mayavadis always believe in merging into the Lord, and their focus is mukti from this material world. So after he became a devotee and a disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he then said that, well, I don't think anybody should be aiming for mukti. So we should change this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we should say Bhakti Daya Bhag, the Bhakti Padesa Daya Bhag. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him that, these are scriptures, we don't change them. Because pictures are coming later, they are narrating the original history of what was said. So the message for us from that incident is that, we don't mess around with the scriptures. They are words of God spoken and meant to be spoken like that. So that was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he was a priest in Jagannath Puri. And one of the interesting things that I learned there was that when the priests have taken, so when you go to worship Jagannath, you have to be absolutely pure. And so you can become pure both in a subtle manner and in a gross manner. So becoming impure in a gross manner is that, you sat in a dirty place and your dhoti became dirty, right? Or you touched something dirty and your hands have become dirty. So you wash and all that, right? But then you can also become dirty in a subtle manner by, wrong entities putting a glance on you. And one of the dirty entities considered to be dirty in our Shastras, one of the animals, which animal is considered to be dirty in our Shastras?
Is it pig?
Pig.
Our Shastras.
Is it dog, Mataji?
Dog, exactly right.
Dog.
500 points. Yeah. Right? They always swapakecha, right? Dog eaters. They always talk about dog eaters. Like dog is the dirtiest thing, and then you eat that dog, right? And of course, pigs are dirty, but usually yeah, they talk about dog. And so if a dog glances on you, then you're supposed to have become dirty. So these priests, they would take a shower in their home, but when they go from their home to the Jagannath temple, there'll be stray dogs on the road, right? And so what these priests used to do from their home all the way to the Jagannath temple, there would be tunnels, built so that they could take a shower in their home, and then from the home straightway they would go and walk through that tunnel. So when you go to visit Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's home, there you will see a door, in the courtyard. And from behind the door, there's a tunnel there still, but they don't allow you to go there because now it's full of snakes and all that kind of thing. So you can still, so he used to use that to walk all the way to Jagannath temple there. So we visited Sadhuma Bhattacharya's place as well on that day. And then, of course, you do all that and you come back home by the book distribution there on the way. There's walk involved there. So we did book distribution, came back, had lunch, then again, have a little rest, start the class. Again, Krishna Katha in the evening, followed by reflections. By the time we are done, it's 8 o'clock or 7:30, 8, depending on how long the reflections went. And then we would have a light dinner, go back to sleep. Those wanting to go to Jagannath temple, go to the Jagannath temple in the night, right? And then, although we don't go to the Jagannath temple, we would do Harinam in front of the Jagannath temple. That is allowed. And so basically, there would be a group who would go and sing bhajans, and so of course the Yatra had people participating from America, from England, from India, from Australia, from New Zealand, from Canada, like that. So wonderful, amazing talent all assembled at one place. So there was very nice kirtan going on, and then we would set up a book table right on the road. And the interesting and the hilarious thing was that the book distribution team put up the book right in front of a police officer's office, which was there. And so they were nicely distributing books, and books were flying left, right, and center. And then the police wala came from inside, and he said, hey, remove your books. You're not supposed to do like that. And the book distributors gave him also a book. And he took 3 Bhagavad Gitas from us, and I have a picture. And so we have a picture of them, with the Bhagavad Gitas in the hand, and they're telling us to move, but we didn't move. We just moved 5 feet away from his shop, and then set up the stall there. So it was amazing. Nobody wanted to come back from there, but then we also had to go to Siddhabakul the same day, and which is a short total. We can walk also, but after standing for such a long time, we didn't want devotees to walk further. So we took totos, which are auto rickshaws, and reached Siddhabakul. Now, Siddhabakul is a place for Haridas Thakur's the bhajan place where he used to do bhajan. And Haridas Thakur is also a very prominent figure in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, which happened here on this earth 500 years ago. And Haridas Thakur is supposed to be an incarnation. Whose incarnation is Haridas Thakur? Anybody knows? Haridas Thakur. So in Chaitanya's Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of whom? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
I was trying for half an hour. I could not get the link. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of whom?
Radha and Krishna.
Radha and Krishna combined, right? So when Krishna comes in the mood of Radha, he to understand what devotional service is and also to teach us all, so he takes the color of Radharani. That's why he comes not as black in color or gray, but he comes as golden, which is the color of Radharani. And so we have these. So we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then we have Nityananda, right? So who's Nityananda? Nityananda is the incarnation of Nityananda, Balram. Okay. So we have Krishna, Radha, Balram. Okay. Then we have Advaita Acharya, among the 5 Panchtattvas who are famous there, right? So then we have Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya is a combined incarnation of Vishnu, Mahavishnu, as well as Shiva. So he's a combination of both of them. And then we have Gadadhar, who is the incarnation of Radharani. And then in his group, there's also Shivas Pandit, who's a Jiva soul like us, but a much, much elevated Jiva soul. Jiva soul there, right? So also in his pastimes, Lord Brahma comes. Brahma comes, and then he is born in actually a Muslim family, but then he gets attracted. And Haridas Thakur used to chant 3 lakh names of the Lord. And it used to take him about 16, 17, 18, 20 hours to complete that. And he would not eat anything until he had completed all his rounds. So imagine his powers. And of course, he's an incarnation of Yamraj, not Yamraj, of Brahma. And Brahma is such an exalted being, right? So imagine the power and the devotional service of Brahma, that he's able to do this. And imagine us, for us chanting even 16 round becomes like, oh, it is so much I can't do that. But that's Kali Yuga for us. Interesting thing in the Siddhabakul is that there is a tree, which they say is a transcendental tree. And so the transcendental world looks very much like this world only, except for there's no birth, death, old age, and disease there. So this tree will look like an ordinary tree for you, but then if you come closer to the tree and there are holes in the tree, and if you look down the hole of the tree, you will see that the tree is hollow. The tree is completely hollow inside. Now, trees are not hollow inside. There is wood there. And then there are pipes there throughout the tree which carry the water all the way to the leaves so that they can manufacture food, which then goes to other parts of the tree, right? But this tree is completely hollow and is still growing. It's still growing. It still gives out leaves on the top and things like that. So it's a transcendental wonder there. So we sat there and, talked about the glories of the holy name at Siddhabakul. It was really long day for us and then a tiring day. So we came back and followed the same evening routine. Now, and then we had to retire early on that day because the next day we leave a little bit early. And so right after breakfast, what we did was we took a bus, and then we went and stopped at a bus station. It's a really dirty bus station, but a lot of buses from all across Orissa, they come. It's kind of like a junction. And we always go there to distribute books. And so this time also we went there to distribute. And then from there we go to a very beautiful and a scenic place called Dandabhang. And over there, Gopinath, is a temple there of Krishna. And it's also related to the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is that when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he had a sannyasi danda. And Nityanand Prabhu, who is nobody else other than Balram, he kind of was, telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you are the supreme personality of Godhead. And so you don't have to take sannyas and all that. So he takes the danda and he breaks the sannyasi rod and he throws it into that river, right? And so that's why that place is known as Dandabhanda Gopinath. It's a very, very beautiful place. We always get a group picture taken there of all the yatris. You can go and there's a river besides which we sit down and have a class. The weather is such a big contrast to the weather in Puri, which was hot. And the weather here was very nice, cool breeze is blowing. And then to have Krishna Katha there, it was so beautiful that I was even thinking that, sometime maybe we should go to Dhanbhan Gopinath right there early in the morning, 5 o'clock, and do everything there. Tulsi Aarti, Guru Puja, everything, we just do that. And then come back. It's very beautiful and very, very scenic. There's an ISKCON temple there managed. So, the area, the site is still under construction. They're expanding it and making more items there. But so there are Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, those deities are there. So those who can't go to Jagannath temple can definitely visit the trio here. And there's one very beautiful deity of Krishna there. And if you go there, you should make it a point, if you go to Puri, to go a little further to Dhanbhanga Gopinath and look at Krishna. He's like life-size figure, it almost looks like Krishna is standing in front of you. And he's holding a flute and Radharani is next to him. And no matter which part of the room that you stand and look at the deity, it'll appear as if the deity is looking at you. So that's a very nice, very nice experience that you get when you go to Dhanbhanga Gopinath. And of course, when we go to Dhanbhanga Gopinath, it's because it's a way away from Puri. So just going there, staying there, and then coming back itself takes a lot of our time. So by the time we come back again, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon. So then we do our afternoon ritual of having sumptuous prasadam and then evening class and then like that. Then we also went to and that brought us, the 4 days we went, right? That brought us to the last day. And then on the last day, what we do is we go to Haridas Thakur's Samadhi, the same Haridas Thakur whom we visited, the Siddha Bakul that we visited. And so when he died, actually, he was a Muslim. And so when he died, actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took him in his hand, and you'll see pictures of that on internet, holding him in his hands. And he was so impressed by his chanting and his dedication to chanting that he called and labeled Haridas Thakur as Namacharya, as the one who is really the one who shows you how to chant the names of the Lord. He's known as Namacharya. So we have his Samadhi there. So 5,000 years ago, there's not much there. There was the sea. And by the way, one of the days we did not have japa circle, which we always had in the morning, japa inside the room, inside the hall. Instead of doing japa inside the hall, we went for a japa walk. And it was so interesting because it almost reminded me of the japa walks that Srila Prabhupada used to have, right? But this time it was with Vaisheshika Prabhu and all these devotees who had come. It was very, very nice. And the sun was yet to come up. So at sunrise, we were just standing right by the ocean, and then we sat and we did some chanting there, and it was just amazing. That's one picture that has been etched in my head, from the whole yatra. If you were to ask me which one got etched in your memory, that's the one, to do japa on a sea beach before sunrise with your spiritual master. That was just amazing. And so on the last day, we went to visit the Samadhi. So 500 years ago, when all this was happening, there's not much in Puri. You could see the big temple was there. That was the landmark. It still is there. Anywhere from Puri you look, you will see the temple in the middle. And in the old age, every village, the center of attraction for the village was the temple. So it's not like, the Empire State Building or the Burj, is the attraction. Always the temple used to be the attraction. And so there was not much between the ocean and the rest. This was all sandy. So he was buried there in the sand, and Samadhi was made there itself. And then later on, lots of shops and marketplaces and all that come back. So now Haridas Samadhi is like in the middle um, of inhabitants. And then very close by is also the ISKCON temple. So we went to both the places, had Katha and participated in Aarti. And of course, we walked to Haridas Thakur Samadhi, most of us, not me, and then did book distribution on the way. On the way back, also people were doing book distribution, chanting, and I had to literally pull them out and say, "Come back! We have to go back to the hotel and have dinner and all that." So we do that on the last day always. We go and do Harinam by the beach, and we do visit the Haridas Thakur Samadhi, and if we have time, we visit ISKCON temple also, which we had time this time, so we visited that as well. And then the very next day in the morning, 6 o'clock, we just fly out from there, which is get out of the hotel to fly to Govardhan, to Delhi, and then go to Govardhan. So for us, that night is a sleepless night because we have to wind up everything, pack everything, leave whatever is still left in Puri, carry whatever has to be brought to Govardhan to facilitate the yatra. And then we take a flight. By the time we reach Govardhan, after taking a flight to Delhi, it's almost 7 p.m. in the evening in Govardhan. So we were staying at the Govardhan Retreat Center. And the next day, even whether it is Govardhan or whether it's Puri, the schedule in the morning would still be the same. And that would be that you do Tulsi Puja, you do your Japa circle, you have Srimad Bhagavatam class, you have lunch, or you have breakfast, and then from there you'll go out on parikrama. So the first day that we used to go out on parikrama, we went to one of the villages of the Asht Sakhis. Asht Sakhis are the Sakhis who are very close to Krishna. There are so many gopis, and out of those gopis, 8 are the prime gopis. So one of the gopis' village we went, and that gopi is Tungavidya gopi, and the village where she stayed was known as Dabar village, Dabar village, Dabar. And so when she would see Krishna, her eyes would, would start like there would be tears in her eyes, and the tears would start falling from her eyes. So, as they say in Hindi, the aansu gire, right? How did the tears fall? Dub 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 dub. They say, right? Aansu dub 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 gire, or tap 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 gire, or dub 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 gire. So from that name, from that word, dub dub dub, that place is known as Dabara because she used to cry like the Dabara. So there's a very nice, of course, there's a DT there. There's a very nice room there, which has got nice dolls that they have collected. And these are the dolls, they have made the doll figurines of how Radha Rani and all the Sakhis used to play in that particular place. It's slightly up on the hilly area there. And so we take a bus and go there. We have Krishna Katha. We were talking about the Shad Goswamis there. We sang the Shad Goswami Astakam, etc. And then, going there, coming back, it takes some time. So that was the only one place that we visited on that day. And then the next day was the big prime day for us because we left very early in the morning to go to Govardhan on parikrama. So it was very early in the morning, and I think you might have seen on Facebook.com some very beautiful pictures in Uddhav Kund, because when we reached Uddhav Kund, the sun had not come up yet. We had taken totos, and there were about 40 totos, 125 devotees, all going in various totos all the way up there. And so we had Krishna Katha, and while the Krishna Katha was happening, the sun came back from behind the speaker. So it was such a beautiful scene to see, Guru Maharaj, Vishnu Katha Prabhu sitting there, and there's a sun coming from there. And of course, there's Uddhav, we know Uddhav's role in Krishna Leela. And that was his kund. So we had Katha there. And then from Uddhav Kund, then we went to visit other places like Shyam Kund, Radha Kund was there. All in total, we'd go from one place to another place. We had breakfast that day at the ISKCON ashram, which was actually a palace converted into an ISKCON ashram. So we had that. We visited Shyam Kund, Radha Kund. We recited prayers at Radha Kund. And then from there, we went to Narsingha Dev Temple, which is a little up. And we were very lucky because the priest was in a very good mood. It's a very small room. And somehow, at least 70% of us somehow or the other squeezed inside the room, and we had a little Krishna Katha. And the priest at that time was in a very, very nice mood because he lifted the dhoti a little bit from the bottom of Narasimhadev and showed us his feet. So we could see, otherwise his feet are not visible to the general public, but he showed us very beautiful feet. And that's also a nice memory that I have from there. And all this, making the Govardhan Parikrama, going to various places, itself takes a long time. So by the time you come back home again, it's late, late in the day. And then after that, we went to Vrindavan. We went to Nandagaon, where we went to two places. Vrindakund, where there's a nice, for Tulasi, there's a very nice, beautiful temple, and we went there. We couldn't go there and do any katha. We just visited and came back, but we spent some time in Ter Kadam. Very nice lecture there as well, and very beautiful, very beautiful place. And when I went there, somebody just said that if you chant one round of mala, I don't know how much truthful it is, but if you chant one round of mala, it's equivalent to chanting 1 lakh malas there. So I must have chanted 7 lakh malas there on that day. But anyway, I don't know the truth of that, but I did chant there. There is Nand Bhavan also up there, where there's a lot of panda problems there. They literally rip you off. I mean, rip you off means they literally tear your shirt. They pull you so hard, so we didn't go there. But on the way back, we did see from far the temple where the Musal Leela happened. The Musal Leela is that the Damodar Leela, right? Where where Yashoda ties Krishna to a grinding stone, right? So that temple is there, and I'm hoping I'll suggest to the Yatra committee that if we can go there and visit and have Krishna Katha there at the Usal thing. So we visited that, and then the next day we actually went to visit Vrindavan temple. So we were all along in Govardhan, right, doing things in and around Govardhan. But this time we went to Vrindavan to visit the temples of the Goswamis. I say Goswamis. So we started with Radha Madan Mohan temple. We visited Radha Damodar and also Imlital. It didn't happen this year. We didn't have much time to sit in Imlital this time. We did have a little bit of Kirtan and Katha there. But last year, I remember, so there are deities are there, and you walk kind of like maybe 1 or 2 steps you walk to get into the temple, and from the front side, and it's a very beautiful Imli Tal. There's an Imli tree there. It's a very beautiful site. Now, of course, it's obstructed, but in the olden times, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would sit there at the Imli Tal, and then from there he could see the Yamuna River flowing very beautifully. And so when you enter the temple from the Yamuna side, there are a few steps. I think 5 or 6 are there. But when you exit, there are only 2 steps. I think it's the undulation in the landscape. But last year when I went there was a cow who came inside the temple, and it stood in front of the altar in a prayerful mood, stood there for at least 15, 20 minutes, and then went out. So this is so amazing that when you realize that you are in the Dham, that everybody who is in the Dham has got so much of speciality to themselves that even a cow in the Dham is a devotee of the Lord. What to talk about the auto rickshaw wallahs and all that. So we have to be very, very careful in our interactions with them, and of course, interactions with the monkeys. And Vrindavan is very famous for its very naughty monkeys, and we did have some spectacles, glasses stolen away, iPhones, pickpockets and all that. We did have some of this instance there. So then we had lunch over there itself, and then we had a half day off because by the time lunch etc. was over, it was already 2 p.m. and people wanted to go and spend some time in Vrindavan. So we didn't have any program in the evening. People just stayed there. And then we had the last day where we went to Gokul. And Gokul was the place where there's Raman Reti. Raman Reti is a place, it's on the sands of Yamuna where Krishna used to play with his classmates. So even today when people go there, they go and roll in the sands on Raman Reti, just as Krishna used to play with them there. But there was a huge traffic jam. And this is something that can happen in real life. And we realize that everything is in Krishna's hands. So we had planned to go there, Raman Reti, do some book distribution inside it, and then go and roll in the sand, all that. And we had such a terrible traffic jam. such a terrible traffic jam that we were just all stuck. There were 3 buses, 3 cars, they were all stuck in the jam. And you will not believe, there were other buses also that were stuck. So you will not believe what the devotees did. They just rolled down their windows and started distributing books from their bus to the next bus that was also stuck in the jam. So they did so much, and some of them just got off the bus and then started walking. They walked 3 kilometers to Ramanreti, and on the way they distributed books. But by the time we reached Ramanreti, the gates were closed, so we could not get inside. So that's why it was Krishna's will that we distribute books instead of going inside. So that's what he did at Ramanreti. And then, of course, there's also Brahman Ghat. So Brahman Ghat is the place, again, it's a ghat, so it's right by the Yamuna. And it is there where Krishna, the pastime of Krishna, where Yashoda is asking him, did you eat mud? And he's dirt. Then he says, no, I did not eat anything. So she says, you open your mouth and show me. So he opens his mouth. And what does Yashoda see inside the mouth? Anybody remember?
The planet's universe.
He sees, correct, for 500 points, he sees the complete planet, the Brahmand, right? So that's why that ghat is known as Brahman Ghat. So visited that. We had some nice katha. It's full of monkeys on the top. They are very, again, naughty monkeys. One of them came and, sat beside my husband. Even before my husband knew, he carried away his orange. And then he was sitting up on a tree and he was eating it. Yeah, but they don't snatch your glasses, at least in Brahman Ghat, but they will eat, whatever you have got over there. So that was the last day of the yatra. We came back again, had breakfast, and then had lunch, and then had the evening class again. And then most of the people flew out 5 a.m., 4 a.m., like that. They started leaving the Dham. I left a little later to go to Calcutta to meet with my sister. I also have another sister, Vidyavadu, who watches this in Pune. So I also flew to Pune. It was a very, dashing thing. I took the flight. It was at 1 a.m. flight. I took the 1 a.m. flight and reached there about 3:30 a.m. and an hour to meet my sister. I spent some couple of hours with her and then came back. And I was so tired with this whole drive that I was like, as soon as I get into the aeroplane, I'm going to sleep. It'll be 2 hours, 40 minutes, because the very next day, then we had to make preparations to come back to USA. It was so tight for me. And so I made up that resolution. And then I went to, as soon as I boarded the plane, and then I was like, oh, I forgot to read, I didn't read the chapter of Bhagavad Gita today. So I was just reading the chapter of Bhagavad Gita on my plane. I was on my aisle seat. And then from somewhere I hear the word Hare Krishna. I was like, I don't know who's saying Hare Krishna. I looked around here and then nobody was there. So again, I went back. And when I finished reading the chat, the person sitting next to me turned and asked me that, are you going to Mayapur? I said, no, I'm not going to Mayapur, but why are you asking? So he said, well, because you're wearing this Kanti Mala, so I thought you're going to Mayapur. I said, no. Then I told him, he asked me, are you related to ISKCON and all that? So I said, yes. Then he said, I want to get some knowledge. So you will not believe, for the next 2 hours, 40 minutes, I had a class on the aeroplane. And I convinced him to take a Srimad Bhagavatam to read. So very nice. He and his wife, both very young couples. They were Shiva Bhaktas, and the husband was sick, and this wife promised Shiva that if he gets better, then I will come to, what are those, 12 Jyotirlingas. And so they were going there to do all that. And they went to other dhams also. And at one of the places, I'm forgetting where, whether it was Rishikesh or someplace, they met some Russians, Russian devotees of ISKCON. And those devotees told him, like, hey, you come to Mayapur. So this guy and his wife, they changed the plans and they go to Mayapur. And on the way, they kind of met me. But they were destined, right, how to get a Srimad Bhagavatam. And I was destined not to sleep 2 hours, 40 minutes, when the plane just landed. And then next day, prepare, pack your bags, take the early flight, come back to USA. So that was my journey to the Dham. And I realized I took the whole hour. I was planning to do some of the Bhagavad Gita, but then. So thank you so much for your patient listening of that. And I would highly recommend that do come and visit the Dham whenever life gives you a chance and an opportunity. Don't miss it. Do go there. Any questions or any comments?
Very interesting journey you had. Very, very interesting it was, the way you narrated.
Yeah,
It's
I was
really good.
reliving
Very
those
nice.
days. Yeah, reliving those days. And I would always say, this is the only vacation I take. I have a very intense job. Like I came back, I reached home and settled down. It was 8 p.m. and I was at work reading my emails. And the next day morning, 8 a.m. it started, and I was telling Devi Kumari that it was intense 3.5 days for me at work. Still continues to be intense. And I don't take any vacation because I just work so that when the time comes for me to go to the Dham, they won't say no because I've not taken any time off. But it is really worth it. To be able to have 13 days and or at least 10 in the Dham or 12 in the Dham and have to think of nothing but God and his devotees. That's an amazing experience and really
So fortunate. You have been really fortunate.
yeah, I would definitely say it's Guru's mercy flowing. Yeah, definitely.
Mataji, the way you were explaining, we were also feeling that we are in Dham with you right now.
Same here.
Ac-
Yeah,
Actually, it's a
it
very
was a very,
interesting.
very vivid picture you gave us.
It's a very interesting thing that you say. Actually, there's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, and then of course the saying is there that where is Krishna and where is the Dham? What is a Dham, right? Any place where you discuss Krishna, it becomes a Dham. So while you were listening to Krishna Katha in your home also becomes a Dham because it's then full of transcendental vibrations, right? Yeah. So Dham can be anywhere. But the potency of these places, I mean, you can feel it there.
Yeah, we can
So
feel it
that
only.
yeah, you can feel it there and like that. Yeah.
Thank you,
Mata-
Mataji.
Mataji, I wanted to ask one question. So
Uh-huh.
in Jagannath Puri, do they ask any like ID card to enter, or is it like that?
They don't ask an identity card to enter, but they can figure out, right? But the
I
interesting
see.
thing is that, yeah, interesting thing is that 13 years ago, I had gone to Puri and to explore whether we could go to Puri and Jagannath for Yatra, what are hotels where we can stay and things like that. So I was doing that as a seva to my Guru Maharaj. And so I don't know how many from ISB are here. Sonal Mataji is here, and Pushpa Deepti is also here, right? Devi Kumari Mataji is also here. So I was with Mukharvinda Prabhu. So Mukharvinda Prabhu, for those of you who don't know, is a tall, 6 feet boy. And he was, I think, 23, 22, something like that. And he has brown eyes. And I was with him. We had both come from USA. And so we went to the Jagannath temple to visit. And both were wearing kantimalas. And I had a few others with me. And like Ramananda Saka was with me, Bhagwati Devi was with me. So they all let them all go inside the temple, but they stopped Mukharvinda. And because they stopped him, so I also stopped because he was staying with us in our home. So I was kind of like a foster mom to him. So they said that you are a foreigner. They would not, because he had, that way the hair is cut in foreign countries. So he had a foreigner haircut, but nowhere he was looking like a foreigner to me. And they kept on saying, no, you have brown eyes. You are not that. You tell us what is your gotra. So he said, well, this is Mangal is my gotra. He said, there's no gotra called Mangal. And then I spoke up. And then he turns to me and he said, and you are also a foreigner. So I said, for Mukharvinda, I can understand if you think that he's a foreigner, he has got brown eyes, he has got fair complexion, he's tall. But from which angle do you think I am a foreigner? Right? They do not listen. So then we had to, fight with them. Then they said, okay, let's go to some bigger priest. So we went to the bigger priest's office. And there he said, is Mangal, so he asked me, what is your gotra? That is Bharadwaj gotra. So then we went there, and that priest said, yeah, Mangal is actually a valid gotra. So they allowed Mukharvinda to get inside the temple. So they can stop anybody on their
Yeah,
way.
Mataji, same thing happened with me. I was alone. I went alone with my sister. So they stopped me twice or thrice. They stopped me. I
Yeah,
don't know. Either nobody ever said that I look like a foreigner,
yeah,
but they
yeah, they do that. And then I have known some foreigners who have gone inside.
Hmm.
Yeah, wearing a sari or have long hair, and they've covered the head or whatever. Yeah, yeah, they have.
Whenever my elder daughter goes anywhere, they think she's a foreigner. And she says, I have never even stepped a foreign land. And you're calling me a foreigner.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to see that, but this is Kali Yuga. And the interesting thing that they say is that uh, that the separation makes the heart go stronger. So if you don't allow them inside, then they become even more intense. The separation goes even more intense, becomes even more intense. And then they say that the Rath Yatra, Jagannath comes out once every year to the streets of Jagannath, so that those who were not allowed to get inside the temple can still see him. Right? So like that he goes. There are nice ceremonies also that happen in Jagannath temple every evening. Somebody climbs without any ladder, with bare hands. He climbs all the way to the top and replaces the flag there on the top. So that is there. The way they cook the temple, the kitchen is very particular. And there's no Jagannath eats. Jagannath Puri is a place where Jagannath eats. Like in Dwarika, God dresses nicely. In Jagannath Puri, he eats nicely. So there's food being cooked all the time. And if you peek into the kitchen, you will see that they cook. There are 9 pots. They put one on top of the other and they light a fire beneath, and all the 9 pots get cooked properly. Even the one on the top doesn't have any fire underneath it. It all gets cooked nicely. They'll put it, and I don't know how the priest figure it out, but they will take all this and they will offer it to Jagannath, and they will know whether Jagannath ate it or not ate it. And sometimes whole lots of rice will be just thrown away. He didn't eat it. And sometimes he will eat it like that. So there are a lot of stories that people tell. They also say that they hear a lot of clanging noises there when they draw the curtain and offer the bhoga to the lordship. They're the clang, 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 clang. So it's like wooden pieces, clanking against each other. Now, these are Dharu Brahma, right? The deities in Jagannath Puri are made out of wood. So they say that Krishna and Balram, they fight over the food that is offered. So you hear a lot of interesting stories if you listen to the pandas there in Jagannath Puri. But it's an interesting place. Yeah.
Mataji,
Mhm.
Pushpa here. Dhanavad pranam. So
Dhanavad.
why they don't allow foreigners?
Well, because of the habits and the conception that they had. Because foreigners are also known from the Shastric perspective as Mlechas. And a Mlecha is a person who's below the Varnas, right? So there's Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahmanas. And so the way the Marichas are conceived, no Garbhadharan Sanskar, the things that they eat, how they eat, there's no concept of prasadam, bhoga, all that in a Mlecha's life, right? So the general understanding was that people outside of India are all Malechas, or at least they became Malechas at a certain point in time when Kali Yuga became more intense. Earlier, this whole world was one world. After Mahabharata Yudh, there was only one emperor, that was Yudhishthir. He was reigning the whole world. So, there were people following the Vedic principles even in South America, Russia, Germany, all that, right? In fact, some of the sages that you hear about, like sage Atri was from Germany. So our conception that all the rishis were born in India is not correct. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, it tells you clearly who came from where. Even the Chinese used to follow this, the Vedic principles. And so Malechas, since they don't follow that, they are known as Malechas, and that's why they were not allowed inside the temple, right? And now it was Srila Prabhupada who came to the foreign countries, and he brought up again Krishna consciousness. And I would say that some of these foreigners who were born as Malechas, maybe, but they are much better devotees than even us. If you look at their devotional service, the intensity of and the purity of their devotional service, they are much better than us. And so it is sad that they are not allowed because people are just following the tradition. The Supreme Court did put a ruling that they should be allowed in, but the stronghold, the Panda culture is very strong there. They won't allow. Like that. So it's sad. Anything else? Any other question?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I had a question about dog. What you were telling about dog.
Go ahead.
So if you have a dog in your house, it is considered like if he's looking at it, it's not considered good or like I got just confused.
Yeah. I mean, especially the dog should not be looking at the bhoga plate that you offer to the Lord.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Bhoga plate, okay.
of Krishna, because see what happens is that things can get contaminated even in a subtle manner. So
Yeah.
even if we hide the bhoga even from others. Of those who follow it very strictly, the person who cooks the bhoga, even while he is
Yeah.
cooking the bhoga, he will not think about how tasty this is, and then when it is prasadam, how much I'm going to enjoy it. He cooks with the
Yeah.
pure intention of offering it to the Lord, right? And then others in the house might not be of the same mental, constitution. So they
Level.
hide
Yeah.
the bhoga. It's always covered with a cloth, even when you carry it from the kitchen to the place, so that nobody looks at it. And we don't know there are other jeev jantus also, right? The ghosts and things like that are also there in the house. It's
Yeah.
invisible to us, thankfully.
Thank you
And
so much.
But
they do that.
Mataji, I have a similar question that Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, that sloka, it says dog. Okay, it does say a dog and a dog eater. Okay.
Yeah, no. But it's a nice citation that you bring in. So it said, Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha, Pandita Sama Darshana. So a Pandit looks all of them
Equally.
who equally who? Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmane,
Brahmane Gavi.
Brahmana, Gavi is a cow,
Has-
Hastini is an elephant, and then Shuni and
Chaiva.
Jaiva, Swapakecha. Shuni is a dog, and Swapake is a dog eater, right? So he sees all of them with the equal vision. What does it mean? Does it mean that I will behave in the same manner with a dog as well as with a lion? No, right? What I will see when Samadarshana, when I'm looking at them with the same eyes, I'm looking at them with the understanding, number one, that they're all spirit souls. The soul in all of them is the same. The soul in my body is the same as the soul in that body. There's not like a tiger soul. The same soul is there, right? The body is different. And then also to understand that there is Paramatma, Krishna as Kshirodakshay Vishnu, is there in the heart of even a lion, even an ant, even a bacteria, like that. So when we are looking at them with the equality, we are looking at the equality from the transcendental perspective that the soul and the super soul are present in each one of these bodies. But behaviorally, that doesn't mean I'll go and hug a lion, because I am also in a body that is not compatible with that of a lion, right? They might eat me like that. So they look at it samadarshina. But we do make differences that a dog is considered to be a dirty animal. A cow is not considered to be a dirty animal. So we drink cow urine, right? Because of its qualities. But nobody drinks dog urine like that, no matter how much you love your dog, right? Like that. So the Shastras recommend not to do it, not to bring the dog into the home, right? If you have to have a dog, if possible, keep them outside. I don't know how much it's possible in this cold country to leave the dog outside if it's snowing and all that, right? So generally, dogs are not allowed in the temple.
It's a heartbreak for dog lovers.
It's a heartbreak for dog lovers. Yeah, definitely. Having said that, sometimes some of the dogs are evolved. You will often see when you're in Parikrama to Govardhan, you will see that there are dogs who will join your Kirtan party. And some of them will even sing. Try to sing in their own way, whatever you are singing. And some of them you will see they are bowing down before sannyasis are also walking on the parikrama. They see a sannyasi, they will immediately go down and they will bow down. Dogs, I've seen that. So they do all kinds of things. Yeah. Hansapriya Mataji, who's in ISKCON Silicon Valley, she had 2 dogs and she had a full room dedicated as a prayer room in her home at the back of the house. And she had these 2 dogs, and these dogs used to come back from a walk. The first thing they would do when they entered the home, they would run to the back of the room and they'd go and offer obeisances. So those are special kinds of dogs, right? Special
Mataji,
services in
I
those
had
dogs.
a dog. I have 2 dogs actually. The one dog died, but that dog, whenever I'm chanting and I'm doing anything, he would to sit near me and
Yes,
listen to as if he's listening.
listening. Yeah.
Yeah, the day he died, that was Gita Jayanti that day. And I was actually, I participated in reading Gita, and that day I chanted 2 malas, and he was near me, and he was near my bed also. And he listened to shloka of Bhagavad Gita till 7th chapter. After that, he died.
Yes.
And I'm getting confused whether to keep the dog. I have another dog also. But at this stage, it is my son's dog. At this stage, it's so difficult to, leave them out.
Yeah, but see,
I
but
really,
look at the influence that you're having on the dog. And that's why I'm saying there are some dogs are special. And that is what, if you to become a Samdarshina and start looking at him with that eye, that it's a soul who will benefit from staying here, then your intentions are different, right? Krishna is Bhav Grahi Janardhan. He always knows your intentions, right? That I'm having a dog just for fun, for showpiece, as a showpiece to
no, he
protect
was very
you.
caring, very this thing. Anybody
Yeah,
touching me also, he will come near me and protect me.
protect you.
And when I'm going, if I'm left behind, he will come back and take me, look at me, that whether I'm coming or not.
Yes.
Very different kind of dog. But then this is for earlier I never used to chant this Hare mantra. Whatever chanting I used to do, if I'm doing puja, he will sit behind and he will listen to, and he will not disturb me when I'm doing chanting. Sometimes I used to do this Gayatri mantra chanting. He will 45 minutes, 1 hour, he will kept sitting there in near the door and keep looking at me. So I
Yes.
really don't know. I was really confused when you said about the dog.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that everything will have their
Uh,
special cases, right? That doesn't apply to all the dogs. The cases that you are quoting, right? They are special dogs.
okay.
They're special dogs. They're special
Consolation.
seeing, and they are in a
Consolation.
they're also in a special, so they're in a special circumstance, right? I would like to top off this call with something I want to show you all on the same topic. So let's see. Tell me if you can see my screen. Can you?
Yes.
All right, let's see.
Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, प्यार से और प्यार से राम 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 बोलो राम राम
There you go.
राम 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 राम
So
Very
there are all
nice.
kinds that make this world, but these are special cases, right? Were you able to hear the sound? Sometimes this cancels out the sound.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could hear that.
You
Yeah.
could hear the sound, yeah. So
Cannot
that's
hear.
you did not hear it on the video, the sound?
I heard it.
You
Yeah, we
heard it.
did. We did.
Yeah, you did, right? Yeah. Yeah, but those are rare cases, right? Those are rare cases of a dog, yeah. Although a dog exhibits so many nice qualities, right? It's a man's friend, they say. However, if you're doing devotional service like DT worship and all that, then it is supposed to be contaminating.
Okay.
Because they will salivate when they see food, right? So that's why boga plate and all that are considered to be good to hide them from there. Anything else? Any other topic? Any other question before we call it?
Mataji, how was your experience at Tota Gopinath temple?
Experience in the sense?
Like, how did you feel, or how did you feel? Because you mentioned this Tota Gopinath and Jagannath Puri both has at the starting of the call you mentioned that it has some you can feel really good here. I
No, no, I
don't
was
know.
saying in the dham. No, no, I was saying in
Like,
any place in the dham, you feel that. You feel the presence. This one has
oh yeah.
especially is very special because you are so amazed at
बड़ा जादू अच्छा भी है
how much a DT can do, right? I mean, the
हाँ
GT
मैं
itself
इसलिए
going,
कह रही थी
sitting
हाँ
down, it's
इससे
like
निकल
amazing,
जाएगा ना फिर अंदर यूज कर लूंगी मैं
right? That part is amazing. And then, of course, there's also one part that I didn't say, didn't tell, is that some days, if you're lucky, the priest will just remove the cloth from, because the deity is sitting, right? So
Yeah.
he'll remove the dhoti a little bit from the lion area, the thigh area of the Lord, and he'll show you a little hole. And it is
Hmm.
said that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world, he kind of, disappeared from that hole. Nobody found his body. He
That,
disappeared from his soul and then went back to his pastimes in Golok Vrindavan.
that was from the feet of
High of the deity,
of
the
the day.
Gopinath deity.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like a deity. And then also there's a very nice, on the altar, there's also very nice deities of Radha there. And she's looking black in color because just by thinking so much about Krishna in in separation from him, she gets the color of Krishna. That demonstrates how powerful the mind is, what the kind of thoughts that you have, they influence even how you look outside.
And he reduced the height for the love of the priest, right? The priest
Because the love of Gadadhar, who is
Gadadhar, who was the
Radharani. Yeah. He didn't reduce the height. He was standing, and now
oh
you
yeah,
see he's sitting now.
he made himself sit down. Yeah.
He sat down. Yeah. Yeah.
And did you had chance to visit like Madhavdas place, like anything in
No, this was all that we had a very action-packed thing. And then in our yatra, also we focus on. So the question here is that what makes a dham a dham? What makes a dham so powerful? What makes it so special that you have to go to the dham? And the interesting thing is that what makes a dham so powerful and so special is the fact that all these great saints, they come and do chanting in the dham. So it's their vibrations that make the place potent. And because of their vibrations, when we go and take a dip in the Ganges, these holy people, when they go and take in the Ganges, they purify the Ganges itself, because we wash our sins and put them in the Ganges, right? But who's going to purify the Ganges? These holy men, they will, when they take a dip in the Ganges, they go and purify the river. So the focus always is that when you go to the dham, you should be focused on listening to your spiritual master. Also, um, we should also try not to go and visit the dham on our own. And so many times that I have been to the Yatra, Krishna, this blessing, this was the 11th year that I went. And every year, I see people who have come to the Yatra with us, they have also been to the Yatra on their own. Like go with the family and go visit this temple, that temple, and they always come back and say, this time it was so different. This time it was so different because number one, there's regimentation on our side, right? When you go with a family, it's like, okay, now child wants ice cream. Just send somebody out, they will get ice cream. And, if you're tired, okay, I want to do shopping. Okay, I want to visit my aunt and, all that kind of stuff. But when you go in a yatra, you're there. But most important is that you're listening to your spiritual master. You're listening to your guru. And you cannot see the deity. It's so interesting that in Srila Prabhupada's pastime, and as narrated, Srila Prabhupada tells his disciples about a situation where Srila Prabhupada was with his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, whose Bhajan Kutir is right next to Tota Gopinath, or close by. And so they had gone to visit some temple. I'm forgetting the name of the temple, but in that temple, the darshan was supposed to be very rare. People would get the darshan very rarely. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was giving a class, and all his disciples were sitting there. And then the curtains opened for the darshan, or the bell rang, and people knew that the darshan had started. So all the disciples went to the other room to see the deity. Only Srila Prabhupada stayed behind because his spiritual master was still speaking. And so he stayed behind, and then Srila Prabhupada tells us that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, without that guru, what will they see in that deity? So this is so powerful that you need the eyes you need your guru to give that power to your eyes to be able to see the real dham. And so that's what it is. We go to the dham and we follow the spiritual master. Whatever regimentation he sets, whatever places he says you go visit, we go visit there. And that itself exhausts us. It's a very exhausting yatra. It's intense. It's intense, but good. It's a good intense, yeah. And you can see the transformation, people, you know. I always see that as an organizer, and Varshana Mataji has been with me in so many yatras. She will tell me the day one of the yatra, they would say that, oh, this is not there, that is not there, my geyser is not working, this is broken, and they didn't answer, and front desk is rude, and all that kind of stuff. They will say all that. And then over a period of 5 days and 10 days, it's so amazing that they will come back again. The mood changes, and then the end day they'll come back and say, oh, this is the best yatra I had, best time of my life. And I really don't bother if the geyser is not working. I've started taking shower in cold water, which is not a big deal to take shower in cold water in Puri. Temperature already is so high. Why do you need hot water? But so you can see the change, the transformation. You see that, and then you're happy that the Dham is benefiting them.
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry I missed the class. I
No
saw the
problem.
phone. I looked at it at 8:30. There was no message.
I
Then after
know.
that,
Sorry, my bad. At 2 minutes to 6 or something, I put the message. I completely forgot that I had to put the message there. Yeah. I somehow thought that on the last day I had told the date, but I don't think I told the date at all. Yeah. So, but anyway, we have recorded this, and I was just narrating them places we visited the Dham. So that's all not new to you. You have been there several times. I was missing you. I was thinking about you.
I was also, in fact, I was thinking, I don't know where did they go. Of course, sometimes I heard your announcements. You had gone there.
Yeah. But all's well. Yeah.
Oh,
But nice.
exactly.
Make a
हाँ,
resolution and make it a
ये
desire
ना
to come
चीजें
visit the
हटा के
Dham.
ये सीढ़ी जरा पीछे रख दे, चीजें हटा
If
के
you have
लगाइयो.
if you have a strong desire, then Krishna will make it happen. Krishna will make it happen. Yeah. And it is such a nice desire. Actually, in next week, we will talk about how Krishna fulfills the desires. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, we will talk about how people fulfill their desires in this material world. I like that. Yeah.
Your health is okay.
My health touchwood. Yeah, my health touchwood is okay. Yeah, I didn't fall sick there. I was sick before I left. Yeah, I was very, very sick. I think I had COVID because I lost my taste. Yeah. I still haven't gotten back my taste, although it's 1 month. Yeah. Which was not good because they had arranged really good food, and everybody else will say the food is very nice. And I was like, okay, I can't taste anything. It must be good if you say that. Yeah. But it was nice. Yeah.
Madhuri, Guru Maharaj ji said something in one of the lectures about 16 rounds.
Yes. Yes. Thank you
Yes,
for bringing
I
that
want
topic.
to hear that, Madhuri.
Absolutely. What he was saying was that most of us start with this, that, oh, it's Ekadashi, I'll chant 32 rounds. And we chant 32 horrible rounds because it's not possible for us to chant 32. Or I'm going to chant extra rounds. He says, rather than focusing on the quantity, you should focus on the quality. All that you promised on your initiation day was, I will chant 16 rounds. So you chant 16 rounds, but chant 16 good rounds.
Yes.
So he's making your life easier. Don't get into the number game, and don't increase your round unless your spiritual master tells you, right? That's why you have a guru to guide you, because so many people will come and tell you so many things, right? Can I have sesame seeds on Ekadashi? Right? Can I have what is the other seed that bloats up? Can I have that on Ekadashi?
Mustard seed, no?
Yeah, not mustard. Chia seeds. Chia seeds, right? Yeah. Can I eat tomatoes on Ekadashi? All these kinds of questions people will ask. Like number one, so your spiritual master tells you on Ekadashi we fast from grains. Is tomato a grain? Use your intelligence. Like that, right? So you need somebody to guide you so that there are conflicting things that people are telling you, you have to anchor with one, right? So you will anchor with the one from whom you're taking your instructions.
Yes, in India, Mother, in Pune, everybody told me not to have sesame seeds.
Yeah. So if you're following your spiritual master, then there is no sin. If you're following a bona fide spiritual master, no sin is incurred because you're following your spiritual master. That's the first rule. of a disciple. You have to follow your spiritual master.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What-
Glad to have you all back. We will. Sorry.
I just opened the phone and I said, let me see the thing. I saw some messages in the group. I said, let me see what are the messages. And then I see that I missed the class.
No problem. It's recorded, so you can listen. Yeah. Okay. It's 7:30. Wow. I was thinking I've hardly, only that Deepti Mataji was here with me and Devi Mataji, sorry. And I was like, I don't know what I will do. Maybe I should still go ahead and teach the class. So she said, okay, tell me about the Dham. I said, okay. And she got me started. And it took the whole 1 hour. And then there were some nice questions from the participants, also nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish some of you could come to the Dham, all of you. At least half of it you can do someday. So try to be in good health the whole year so that you can make the trip.
Yes.
Just keep praying. Krishna will make it happen.
Yes, he will.
praying since long time, Mataji.
Good. It'll happen for sure. Rest assured. Krishna will listen. He will hear. Okay. All right. On that happy note of Rupal Mataji praying to be at the Dham soon. May Krishna grant her wishes. I'll take your leave. Vanchikalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.